This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the mayor.
Yo, it's Our Lifestyle Podcast. I always say the podcast, but it's Our Lifestyle Podcast, a.k.a. OLP, episode 237. It's going down right here every single Friday with a new episode. And we got to give a huge shout out to Scraping the Coast. That's the next big event from Custom Car Show Productions, which is that overarching brand that brings you Scraping the Coast every June. This year it's the last weekend in June. ScrapingTheCoast.com for more information. We'll talk more about it. Scraping the Coast Show on Instagram. And of course, Scraping the Coast on Facebook. We got Miggity Mike the Mayor, dude. You're fresh off of gallivanting in the Project Banana Hammock, dude.
Yes, Gone Postal is actually home, brother. It has been a long time coming, but it's only going to last for a week. Then we're slapping it back on the trailer, heading back up to Tampa, going to a show this weekend there in Ybor City. So hope to see some of you other Airhead Nation out there at Ybor City. But beforehand, I got to definitely send out a big shout out and thank you to ProFab Florida, Ryan, for getting it up and running and getting the air management system all situated and getting it. Oh man, what a mess that was. But he got it, he fixed it. And, so I'm good to go. And, now I did get some, hey, we got to thank Tony Vickers for, ordering that conversion kit for me and getting that dual pack, compressors. And so now, of course, you go with nothing else but the best, and that's Viair, of course.
Yes, and real quick, when you pulled up at Made of Steel show, which we'll talk about later, when you pulled up, or when Shannon rather pulled up, I put the quick, it's a real short video, I put it on YouTube with Shannon pulling up in the banana hammock, delivering it to Miggity Mike under the big covered area. I heard those Viair compressors rolling, Mike. I heard them rumbling, and you could just tell that sound, and you could just tell how healthy that air suspension system is, because it's the heart of any air suspension, as you know. And there's nothing like that sound. I know for a minute, we were all like enamored with AccuAir doing the Indo CVT. We know they've pulled the plug on that, pun intended. So, we're back to the way really I think it should be, the way God intended it. 2 compressors firing up, a nice air tank with some air. And Mike, you'll be hitting switches for days, weeks, years to come.
That's the plan. Let's hope it goes that. Let's hope it goes that route.
Oh yeah. So again, scrapingthecoast.com, and get out there, join the discussion with STC, also known as Scraping the Coast, on Facebook. Just search Scraping the Coast. Now, Mike, the overview of this episode, man. Listen. If all goes well, we're going to call DJ Mays in just a little while, talk for a few minutes about their show this weekend, Relaxin in the Park St. Louis. It's an annual show. Of course, they had to hiccup the first year with the flood. I was up there 2019. They made that event happen. They had to move it to the school. It was an awesome event. There's a video that we did out on YouTube of that and the pre-festivities, including going up in the arch. But also, Mike, we've got to keep our commitment, and sometimes I know you and I, we get busy, and we, just have guest after guest. You're always trying to get a word in edgewise, going, "Yo, I get," and I'm going, "Yo, no, we're good, we're scheduled." But dude, we got Jen Black on from Canada, and I'm so anxious for everyone to hear the audio with Jen. Man, she's kind of an awesome female in the scene, and she's with a mini trucker. So, Mike, it doesn't get much better than that.
Dude, hey, like we said at the beginning of the year, we wanted to, put the spotlight on more of the female mini truckers. We're definitely, doing it again with this one. So definitely look forward to it.
Real deal. And this overview of episode 237 is brought to you by our family at Graphics Mafia. If you're looking for stickers, a wrap, some custom die-cut stickers, maybe a little bit of design work, hit up the fine folks over at Graphics Mafia. That's graphics with an X, mafia.com, or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Buddy and Ryan are really doing it big. hey, buddy. That's their calling. You know what I mean? So big ups. Ryan came down for Made of Steel. We'll talk more about that. But GRAPHIX Mafia.com. They also printed those awesome Miggity Mike the Mayor stickers, version 1, version 2, thanks to Don Dizzy Davis over at the Spark Show for helping put those together. Mike, they are collector editions, man. I mean, the way I look at it is there's baseball cards, there's Garbage Pail Kids, right, cards, and then there's these, edition 1 and 2. You know what I mean? I mean, they're at the top of the line. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to send mine away also to get graded because I need some perfect 10 ones and then get you to sign them. Dizzy's, you know what I'm saying? We've got to bring the value up on these, Mikey, for eBay purposes.
Oh, absolutely. And I see the value jumping from a whole 3 cents up to about 10 cents.
Yeah, and then we'll get to that Griffey Jr. level. You know what I mean? At some point. But
absolutely, we have to.
Well, moving ahead, we've got the scene updates, Mike. One of my favorite sections to talk about. Got to thank Garage Gear, man. Did you hear? Like I said last week, man, we had the calculator going, so I want to talk more about that. Thanks to Lonnie and Crystal for helping get the calculator going. But Mike, Made of Steel 2021, dude, 7th annual event. I know Tank is a big supporter. He's a big partner with that. Fat Tank's Auto Body and Fab, and then of course you got Jeremy running the puppet strings over there, brother. It was an awesome time, wasn't it?
I tell you what, hats off to both of them because this was by far their largest Made of Steel to date, and wow, I can't lie, I was not expecting that turnout, and they absolutely killed it this year. And, we had a great time. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. And, what a better way to spend a weekend than with, your car show family,
Car
Doesn't
show.
get any better than that.
Yeah, car show family, or how do you say it? How do you pronounce the word? But the atmosphere was great. Mike, the thing that I believe that they've really done well is whenever you have a show, obviously they're out in Dover, kind of a central point. You would think for the north-south, I know the DeCorvers, they're always coming, don't matter where they are in Florida. They could be in Key West and go to Orange Beach. I mean, they're just always there. But they have continued to take, good feedback from people and think outside the box and kind of say, hey, how do we want to make our show work for us? And that's what they've done. Made of Steel Show on Facebook, Instagram, and of course madeofsteelshow.com. You see a lot of the sponsors and things like that out there. Mike, when we arrived on Friday, Chris Ford was setting up, getting ready to DJ and play some great music. Really always enjoy Chris. He does a good job of emceeing events. So glad to see that he's continuing to do what he does. Of course, the vibe on Friday night, Mike, awesome. And we were really surprised, dude. We were getting ready to peel out of there, my severed brothers and sisters, and we were getting ready to go over to Ford's garage, and somebody said, we're not leaving yet. Miggity Mike the Mayor, you came in like a bat out of hell in your new Chevy Chariot, I saw. And, dude, there was a dust cloud coming behind you. I thought you were Pigpen, but, damn, it was good to see you on a Friday night, brother.
Well, hey, the boss said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and go up tonight.
Yeah.
And, so it was definitely much easier going up Friday night instead of trying to get up, that damn early and getting up Saturday morning and heading up. But yeah, what a great day. What a great weekend. It was we got to do, I tell you what, the amount of not just about the money, but the fact that how many people were able to be helped this weekend with the charity, with the auction, Vic and his family, of course, and then the Kids for Cancer Foundation. And, we even got into it with the bidding on, the bakers were there. Maryland makes, these quilts And so she had made one, and we started up the bidding, and I ran out of money. Somebody was bidding against me. I don't even know who it was, but somebody was bidding against me. I ran out of money, and the next thing I know, here goes John, Big John throws $100 at me. All right, so we're back up and running again, and then next thing I know, Gary, her husband's throwing money at me, and then all of a sudden money's coming from every direction, and I got people coming up and giving me 5s and 10s and 20s. And
wait, were you? There wasn't a poll involved or anything, right? Because I had my back turned. I think I was talking with someone. There wasn't a poll going on or anything, right?
Well, of course your back was turned when all this was going down, because Jay's got those short arms and didn't want to reach into the pockets.
No, come on, man, come on, dude, don't be saying that shit.
So of course his back was just happened to be turned at that time, when everybody else is reaching deep into those pockets and giving back. But needless to say, we ended up raising $1,500, and I think it was $1,511.92.
Wow.
And of course that went to the Kids with Cancer Foundation. And so that was awesome. That was great. And just to see everybody coming out, and they ended up giving me a bucket to put all this money in, because I ran out of hands, man. I had no more. I couldn't carry no more money. And so it was awesome. It was an awesome feeling. It was awesome to see everybody giving. And so it was really cool. And then we turned around and they had another auction to help our boy Vic and his family, and to help him through the little the tragedy that just happened with those guys. And I do believe at the end of the day, after it was all said and done, I think they raised a little over $5,000 for Vic and his family. So hats off to everybody that donated, Tank and Goat, and for doing it, having the auction there at the show. And but definitely, man, just a great time. It was good to have Project Gone Postal, the yellow Mazda there, and it felt to have a damn truck at a show again, and because it had been such a long time, dude.
Yeah, I do. Ben Smith had messaged me, and I do believe, Mike. I put my arm through it. I didn't feel anything. I still think it's a hologram. I don't know. I know Profab supposedly worked on it, but I don't know. If there's people out there that believe the Earth is flat, am I still allowed to believe that your truck's a hologram?
It definitely is not a hologram, because I also need to send a shout out to our boy Matt Middleton for going and picking it up and bringing it to the show, trailering it to go for me, and then let me borrow his trailer. Borrow. Yeah, I did say, hey, can I borrow that? And he said, absolutely, yes, no problem. And so it was good to see Matt and his family, of course, his awesome wife, Michelle, and they got in on the auction as well. And I tell you what, that Billy the Kid did that skate deck, and man, that thing came out badass. I was really impressed with that. And of course, Matt and he walked away with the damn thing. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Billy the Kid, man, I always enjoy talking with him. It's Billy the Paint Guy on Instagram. Always enjoy seeing his four-door Blazer. I got some good photos of it I haven't shared yet. So we're excited, to continue to share that content. Mike, I think everything you just said really summed up the vibe that was there. Obviously, a lot of folks helping people out, the charity. I did talk to Jeremy, also known as Goat, and he mentioned HRM, Epicenter Designs, and Fat Tanks. Big ups to them, kind of being the host companies, right? That those primary companies. There were a lot of others involved, and it's great to see a lot of companies come and participate so that we can have events like this. Saturday, it was a one-day show, kind of technically. Everybody kind of rolls in on Friday. They had well over, they almost had 700 registered, and that's the stereo portion, the car show portion. Love how there's that good combination. Well over 2,500 spectators. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, there's over, nearing 5,000 people there on the premises. And, dude, just what a great vibe. Now, it was super hot. I put my sunblock on before I even left the house, dog. Riggedy Ron was at the crib from Hammered Weekend Wear. Ryan from Graphics Mafia came through and stayed at the crib. We got up early. I was breakdancing when Ryan woke up. I was like, man, I was trying to. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm exercising. You know what I mean? This is what else do you do? And he's like, man, really? So then we went to Chick-fil-A, and then we peeled on over there playing the Sanford and Son, intro music. You know what I mean? Because when I show up, there's usually a little bit of I make fun of you with the pigpen dust cloud. But when I roll in now, Mike, you gotta give me credit. I did not bring a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I just brought what we needed. You know what I'm saying? No bikes, no other. You know what I'm saying? No other Sanford and Son deal.
Hey, let's put it this way: you were better time this time, and no, I think you only brought one backpack with you, and that is by far the best you've ever done. Coming to a show, and I do have to say it was a proud papa moment right there.
Well, I just can't give Dizzy from the Spark Show. He works really closely with Adam with the Spark Show up in August, one of our favorite shows in Sevierville. I just can't give him any more ammunition because he had some good memes. He had the Jeopardy one of me, don't throw that away. I mean, I love that category. I might be able to actually win a Jeopardy, if Adam and/or Dizzy were hosting it, and those were the categories. But also, he had another meme that he did one day, and it was all the stuff falling out of the closet. So, I want to let everyone know that, I like my stuff, but I'm not, I'm nowhere near being on the Hoarders show. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like the mini truck hoarder. But I don't even have many trucks. I just like the magazines. You know what I mean? I read the articles, damn it.
But I still think we got to work on this thing about you and this hoarder talk, because the first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, look what I've just done. I've said, I've got some magazines. That's about it.
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't stop there. I wouldn't stop there. It goes a little bit farther than just I got some magazines.
Well, you can go out on our Instagram or Facebook. You can look at our so far our Made of Steel posts. You can tap on the hashtag Made of Steel Show. We've also used, I believe, Made of Steel Show 2021. There were a lot of good people out there. I know, and this is, I'm going to forget some, but mentally kind of going through, I know Randy came down from Mini Truck Scene and all his brands. You had Hank and Ron. Ryan helped them in the Hammered Weekend Wear booth. So that was pretty cool. Biggity Boss Bolin, he had peeled in. He had the red sled right there in the Hammered Weekend Wear booth. Of course, underneath, he had some good food vendors. OLP, we were down there. Sickness Video. Again, we were next to the DJ stage. Then on the indoors, Mike, there was, some awesome rides, including Gary, the Bakers. As you mentioned, they're awesome full-size truck. So that was cool. Shulman had the Lincoln Navigator out there. But then when you get out to the main show field, you had the VW crew came out. I know Joe Sand from Custom Rods, our homie from Tampa, he came out as well. But, you had Sever from Jacksonville kind of strolled in, Howard, Millar, Jay, those guys, a couple of the new hang-around dudes. And then, you start to sprinkle around with Mini Madness and, Billy, as we had mentioned. There was a mini trucker that I had met that, Mike, he went to one of the local Portillo hangout deals one night, right? Acro kind of had, helped sponsor that. And what was cool is he came out there in his orange Mazda. I would have loved to got a photo with yours and his being the orange, yours being the yellow. He moved from the West Coast. Again, I met him at one of those little local hangout deals, but I think his name is Nick Nanhus, Nahas. He had a 55 Ford F100, but he also had the Mazda out there. So it was cool that they came out. There were a couple of old school C10s and just a good mix of classics, plenty of full sizes, and of course the minis on the rise. But the stereo portion, my homie Paul came out. He had the Burb. The Burb is the word. And then he, of course, met a lot of other enthusiasts out there, really bass heads, dude. But, Mike, we can't forget Dan Sawyer. He recently helped us out acquiring our new tent. And we love Dan, the big homie. He's a good dude, but he was out there gallivanting, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Well, he was actually out there helping me out with, helping me and Big John out with Eastbound Get Down, and out there promoting out there with that. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That stereo portion of Made of Steel is legit, bro. That part is huge. Car show is definitely catching up this year. A lot, I think it was double in size compared to the year before. So like we said, man, hats off to Goat and Tank, and they did a great job this year for sure.
Yeah, I could have swore that I had gotten an emergency alert that there was like an earthquake in the area, and I looked at my phone, and then you were like, no, Jay, that's just the bass. You know what I mean? Bing, 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 bass, bass, bass. I was like, all right, man. I just needed some DJ Magic Mike. I mean, I'm kind of the old school bass head. You know what I mean? You put some Magic absolutely. Mike, maybe some Luke on.
Sounds good to me.
Lastly, I want to give a shout out, and again, I know we're not going to remember every little aspect. We had a lot of good conversation. There's a couple, Jeremy and Cody, the two bros, I call them the brothers. They came out, Mike. Always enjoy the conversation. Jeremy, they're big supporters. Cody, we have a lot of laughs talking about just trucks, and they're, Jeremy's he's very keen on details. Oh yeah, I remember you talked about this. Oh yeah. The skate decks, man, I got to get a couple because, you guys are always, you're always out here and this and that. So certainly want to thank them. And I also wanted to say big ups to a guy that's down, a DOWN, number 2, Earth Photography. Okay, Down to Earth Photography. And what was pretty cool is he is a future mini trucker. He was on the Future Mini Trucker podcast. And I was talking with him. We had some good conversation, and I just, I told him, hey, it's not about the awards. It's, it's about the next generation, and that's what I had posted. His name's Carter. I know I had accidentally called him Cooper, all right, because, yeah, I made that mistake, but it is Carter, and he's a good kid. I think he's 16. He had the wagon out there, Mike. He bought some decals, some OLP decals to put on the wagon, so big ups to him.
Oh, absolutely. And hey, we cannot forget about our award winner. And when I say award winner, our OLP pick went to none other than Scott V6 Cotton.
Yes, Scott Cotton. And we have to thank Joey at Get Decked. He has done fantastic for us, helping us with these Minis on the Rise awards. I posted an old photo the other day, and I didn't even realize, it didn't register that it was Scott's truck when it was purple. It was the purple People Eater. That thing has been transformed. We joke about the V6. That was a mistake I made in some write-ups on from OBI. But, Mike, he's got a V6 Chevy motor in it. He's got the Dakota digital gauges. And I know Tim from Jimmy's Rod and Customs, I think he did the install. Scott's a great dude. He supports a lot of shows. And for me, and when you and I talked about it, we just said, boom, man, the truck looks so good. It runs great. It's dialed in. He was the winner, as you mentioned.
Oh, absolutely, man. And good guy. And definitely look forward to ride now that he's got it tuned right, because, man, it ran like crap the last time I rode in it. So now that he's got it tuned right, I look forward to being able to ride in it and see what a real V6 feels like in a little Mazda mini truck.
Yeah, and I gave Scott some ideas, because he basically said, he goes, tell Mike, as long as I'm in the running, dude, he ain't getting anything. I was like, man, I don't know if Mike's that competitive. And he goes, dude, man, I'm doing some stuff, whatever Mike does, the gold wing doors, whatever. He goes, man, I got him. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming after him. And he's S Cotton, just how it sounds, S Cotton 75 on Instagram. Good dude.
So you telling me I got my gold wing doors done before he gets his done?
Yeah, he's talking about doing a limo conversion with like all gold wing doors and hover conversion. He's talking to Mayor Goldie Wilson, the third from Back to the Future 2, $29, $9.99, $99 for the conversion deal. You know what I mean? BTTF for life.
Oh, perfect.
Mike be like, quit freestyling, ODB.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to continue. So thanks again to Tank and Jeremy. Great job. We're excited for next year for the 8th annual. But for now, tip your caps. You guys did fantastic. And there will be coverage on StreetTrucksMag.com as well as in print mag. Hang tight, everyone.
Well, hey, the last thing we got to think is, or not think, but the last thing we got to congratulate is Jesse Perez for winning Best of Show.
Yes. Oh, thank you, man. So, Jesse, congratulations. Good dude. Love the truck. Full size is on the rise. And it's awesome to see, him enjoying the truck. I know you had told me that he had taken possession of it. We've seen it at a few shows now. And couldn't have had a bigger smile on his face, man. So awesome. Congratulations. Now, moving ahead, Cruise to the Pines. That took place, the 2021 event. They're on Instagram. It's Cruise to the Pines. All just how it sounds. They did some sort of pre-registration, which I think is fantastic. They did post a little bit on their social media, including a cool drone video that showed just what a wonderful turnout it is. We'd love to highlight that awesome event going forward. So if you're on the team there, I know Switch Suspension is on board there. Please reach out to us. You guys are some good kinfolk, and we shared as many photos as we could last year. And this year, with us being at Made of Steel, we just weren't able to do that as much. So big ups, and awesome to see my Severed brothers out there repping. Mike, I know the only other miscellaneous thing that I had before we go on to some of the other items was there was news the 2022 Chevy Silverado HD is here. It's going to get one of the newer style tailgates. Tailgates are kind of cool. Again, I've said this recently. I do think it's awesome that there's been some good movement in terms of changes to tailgates. They were the same way for so long, it seemed. But this article on TFLtruck.com, that's TFLtruck.com, the Fast Lane Truck is what it's short for. They kind of just talk about they believe they're going to be later, be available later in like maybe June, July, or August. They look pretty cool. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the front ends, but it is what it is. They're going to change them up. A lot of people are anxious to see the new GMC, right? The quote professional grades. I know that's going to be something I'll be looking forward to. If I had to pick one or the other, I would go with the Sierras. But again, it is what it is. They're gonna they'll have a year that maybe most people don't like, and then they'll switch them up, and then they'll change them a little bit more. But it's America, Mike, and as we've talked about a lot, we love our trucks here.
Yeah.
Now, print media-wise, so we'll kind of segment this. I'll try to, going forward, kind of miscellaneous print media, digital media, and then maybe a few Facebook saves within the scene updates. But the new Street Trucks did arrive here, and I'm so thankful to be able to write the column Our Lifestyle in the back. Mike, it's a good one. It's got an 88 to 98 on the cover titled Under Pressure, which is one of the titles to one of my favorite ZZ Top songs. There's a lot of good coverage in here, including X-Rated, a 59 Apache, which we've seen a couple times. Really badass truck. Aftermath, 88 to 98 OBS. Red one. Mini Trucks Only, the Northwest Cruise to the Pines 2020. Not to be confused with Cruise to the Pines that we just had. So a lot of mini trucks there. And then on page 114, Mike, including a lot of other awesome content, 114 was Orange Beach Invasion. Photos by Logan Wade. Chris Hamilton did the write-up. War at the Wharf, it was titled, Mike, and it definitely was a war at the wharf. I love that spin in there. You've got everyone from Graham's truck. You had the amazing cab-over truck that was there. A lot of these that we've seen, it looks like Duck's truck also made the show coverage. A good mix of minis, including Scott Cotton's Mazda, Matt Middleton from Florida, his amazing truck, Jeremiah Johnson's Nissan, and then, of course, you got Waka's as well. Big John Lopez's old full-size. 3-4 full pages, and it was pretty awesome, including Big Sis, Little Sis. So, Mike, pretty cool. Highly suggest you go out to Street Truck's site and subscribe. Don't be one of those people that, like, if this magazine, God forbid, it ever went away, and it's like, oh, man, I used to like that magazine too. If you like it, subscribe to it. It's not that expensive. Right, Mike?
Hey, it's all easier. It's much easier and much cheaper to go ahead and subscribe than it is to try to pick that thing up and find that thing on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, brother, for sure. Now, from the digital media side, kind of segmenting within the scene updates, this morning, I noticed that Brian from Grinder TV launched his Southeast Mini Nats, also known as Mini Nats, video on YouTube. It's another opportunity. It's free content. You just go subscribe. I watched it all the way to the very end. Mike, it was a good one. Thanks for the, he put a little short video of me in the middle, so I thank him for that. Bada Bing made a quick cameo, as did a lot of other trucks that really deserved it. And certainly always enjoy Brian's content. And at the tail end, Mike, he also put a little bit in there about their vacation that they took at the after the show. So I love how he kind of mixes and intertwines all of that. Grinder TV on YouTube.
Oh, dude, one of the best in the business. We both know that.
Oh, yeah. Now, from a Facebook perspective, kind of falls under digital, but, we're going to segment this out a little bit because, Facebook, you could spend all day on there and find all kinds of cool stuff. Now, we are open if you kind of email us, ourlifestylepodcast@gmail.com. We'll do our best to kind of also cover some of these items, including one a little bit later, Mike, that we'll cover under the Airhead Nation that someone reached out to me on or about. Adam Tripp said, happy birthday to Dizziest Duck on the side of South Beach. Appreciate all that you do. Happy born day, Don Dizzy Davis. I know Brandon Burrell, he was finally able to have his wedding with his awesome wife, Kristen. I met her at Southern Tradition last year. And, congratulations to Brandon. Been doing this stuff a long time, but from a friend to a friend, congrats. It's a great day when you get married. I know Bill up in Wisconsin, my fellow Go Pat Go brother, he said, had Grace on a road trip with me getting some custom truck stuff. Have to wait to see, but she's down with OLP. She was rocking the OLP hat. Pretty cool, huh, Mike?
Yeah. It's always cool to see, your brand, your product being repped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we did see Glenn Brown. I know we do want to have our brother Glenn on. He said, it's so damn cool to check your porch, and you received something cool from Sean Patrick and his wife, Donna Mahaney Patrick, from that awesome show, Mini Truck Showdown, which was this past April into May. As we've talked about, Glenn and some of the East Coast homies made the truck over. Dude, that's true dedication. The little note from Sean and Donna said, Glenn, thank you for making the trip out and for all of the support. Pretty awesome. Rest in peace, Sean. They have some of the Sean Mahaney stickers in there and a few things. But awesome sauce to see just such good love going around the scene, brother.
Oh, dude. And you had mentioned, our boy Glenn, and just that, the following them on their trip out to Vegas, on social media was pretty awesome, and what a good time. And that would have been cool to be able to do something like that. So hopefully one of these days, we'll be able to do something as far as being able to go from East Coast to West Coast and do one of those long ass trips like that. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. And for now, these are the scene updates for this week, brought to you by our family at Garage Gear Clothing. You can visit garagegearclothing.com and order today. And Mike, how much is the shipping?
It is absolutely zero. It is free. Of course, only in the United States.
Whether you're at a show nationwide and you go by the Garage Gear Clothing booth, like they were just at C10 Nationals, or you go to garagegearclothing.com, let them know OLP sent you. You never know what Crystal and team might throw in on that awesome order that you place. They've got very cool options. Okay, Mike, next we got the key show updates, and Made of Steel was last weekend. Look, we could put it in the books. I guarantee it's going to be 1 year from this past weekend, give or take, so we'll wait for the official dates. This weekend, we got Relaxin in the Park St. Louis. Now, I am not going to be able to make it up to this one as I had hoped. I did tell Jason, DJ Mays, that they have my commitment to be back up there next year. Just not in the cards right now, and I know we were originally planning to do the live stream, but I think some of that changed a little bit with Street Trucks. They had to refocus on some other things, so there'll be more events later this year. Riffy's Rod Shop presents TriStar Tradition. That's going to be another one that, Mike, that we mentioned that we're not going to be able to make, but we did want to throw that out there. There's some good people involved in that one, and if you're around the weekend of May 29th and the 30th, that's going down in Lewisburg, Tennessee. That is also on the OLP official digital show calendar. Then, Mike, of course, Scraping the Coast is about a month from that show, which is going to be the 25th, 26th, 27th, give or take about 4 weeks or so, 25th, 26th, 27th in Biloxi, Mississippi. ScrapingTheCoast.com. You can pre-register right now. Indoor, outdoor spots. It's the hottest, craziest, funnest, biggest, most ACest, freon poisoning show on the coast. Scraping the Coast. Big ups to Greg Miller and all the Custom Car Show production team for what they do. Mike, I'm just blown away at these awards that Feltham Fab is painting. I mean, they just keep coming up with funky-ass stuff like every single day.
Yes, sir. And just when you think that he can't outdo himself from the previous year, he keeps busting them out. It's like, holy shit, this man is good. Damn, he good.
Damn, he good, man. So, Scraping the Coast, we're going to be up there. I'm looking forward to potentially leaving on Thursday, driving as far as we can. I know Vic is, with everything he's been through, he's anxious to get back to STC. We'll be bringing a lot of coverage, but listen, don't just take our word for it. Come on out, right? You don't want to just see it on social media. You don't want to live vicariously through OLP all the time on Facebook and Instagram. We love that you do, but plan to come out. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, don't forget all the giveaways too, brother. The air ride giveaway, the rim giveaway, for best mini, you're getting cash. I mean, there's all kinds of giveaways this year at Scraping the Coast.
Hells yeah, it's going to be awesome. And Mike, I think you just have to pre-register. There's no kind of side deals you got to do. You just pre-register.
Nope.
Now I'm pre-registered. I think. I got to finish that. I got to finish the pre-registration. We're going to gallivant on up. And dude, you pre-register, you're locked in. You just never know. You might be rolling on some wheels, dog. Mike says some rims, dog. I'm going to get me some new rims, dog.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. It's old school, baby. We're going to keep it old school. We're going to say rims.
Rims. Now, Mike, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to give a couple minutes to Jason Barbaglia, a.k.a. DJ Mays. We'll just bring him on, and we'll hit on a few key things. Now, we want to remind everyone that DJ Mays is available on Twitch. You just need to download the Twitch app on your Apple TV, your Android, your iPhone device, your computer, and you can search DJ Mays. You can go out there and check out. He does about 3 sets a week, and he's doing one tonight, and we're going to get a few minutes of his time to talk about Relaxin in the Park St. Louis.
All right. ODB, you there, brother?
Yeah.
All right. We got DJ Mays on the other line.
What up, DJ Mays?
What it do, nephew?
What it do, brother? I just gave you a huge shout-out. I told everyone to download Twitch. You're going to be going live here in a few minutes. But listen, dude, we wanted to get a few minutes of your time. I know you've got a great bunch of kinfolk up there. You guys are excited about Relaxin in the Park St. Louis this weekend. Dude, what are some of the key updates you want to share, homie?
Well, I mean, probably, the biggest thing is probably don't miss out on Friday night. So if you're coming in town, don't wait till, Friday evening to leave, especially if you're 5, 6, 7 hours away kind of thing. You want to be in town Friday afternoon, ideally. So Friday night for the big cruising that we do at Hooters. That's really the big pre-party and where it all kicks off. And then we'll just be cruising the rest of the night after that. And then Saturday, the show kicks off at 8 a.m. Registration and judging to be open. And everything's paving the way for, even though the year was crap, everything's paving the way for this year to be really, really big. And we're pretty stoked, at the same time nervous as hell,
Absolutely. The audio was a little choppy there, but I think we got it. And I know if you go on Facebook, I would tell people search Relaxin, just how it sounds, Relaxin in the Park It'll pop up in your feed there. You'll see the 2021 event. Now, it's at Jefferson Barracks Veterans Memorial Amphitheater. What can you tell us about the venue? Anything they should know in terms of getting in and out of there, homie?
Well, there's a couple different ways to actually get into the park where it's at. The main thing to remember is the address is 533 Bagby Road, Bagby. So that takes you down to the last exit or the last entrance to the park, and that will take you right to the amphitheater. Otherwise, you have to try to weave through the entire park to try to find where the amphitheater is at. If you don't know the park well enough, you'll be lost in no time.
Yeah, absolutely. And pre-registration has ended. They just need to be day of show. It's available, and can they pay cash or any other methods?
Mainly cash, but if we have to do a PayPal situation, we have a PayPal set up for the show. But we'll have registration open as well as judging noon to 5 on Friday, 8 to 3 on Saturday, and then for the last minute people, 9 to 11 on Sunday. And we will do awards at noon on Sunday. We've got top 50. We have the Elite 10. We just added a top 5 late model because there's some local people up here that have the newer Camaros and Challengers. I promised them we would take care of them. And then we have about 25 special awards all together with all the picks and, certain ones like old school and whatever, and of course the best of show wrestling belt. So there's tons up for grabs, and the 232 pre-registrations. I mean, I can only imagine what the gate's going to be like come Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a top billing. What do they call it? It's going to be the main event. Who's on the main card? The whole wrestling deal. It's going to be awesome. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed it in 2019. I know last year you guys had to throw the towel in, unfortunately, but the commitment that you guys have to the scene and keeping this event going, it's really awesome to see. I know you're excited about it. Folks can go out there on YouTube and search Relaxin in the Park 2019, and you'll see the video that Jay and I did a couple years ago. But Jason, what are some of the key, any other kind of key updates that you want to share with everyone besides the Friday night deal, which is fantastic?
Yeah, well, and then we teamed up. The same area right in front of the hotel is called Lindbergh Boulevard, and that's the same area we all cruised. When we were 16, 17, 18, and first getting into doing mini trucks or whatever. So that there's a group called Cruise in Lindbergh that was organized about a year ago, and they did a big cruise last year, and they did a really big one back in April of this year. So people lined the sides of the streets because people for 3 or 4 generations are out there, and they've all done this. So a lot of older people are there reliving the way it used to be, and younger people are out there doing it now because they're already doing it. So we've teamed up with them for Saturday night, so there's going to be all that cruising going on. So it's going to be in a bigger town, so to speak, like a bigger city than like mini nats, but it's going to be a lot similar to that because people will be lining the sides of the roads with their lawn chairs, watching everybody. All the businesses are supporting it. Plenty of places to eat and everything else. So we're telling everybody to get out and enjoy Saturday night. The other thing to remember is if you come to the show on Friday for a little bit, if you leave with your vehicle on Friday and on Saturday, you cannot go back to the showgrounds until the next day. The park rangers will go in place at about 6 p.m. each night, and nobody can go in or out at that point at all. Not even. So that ensures everybody's stuff is protected overnight. They have big stadium type lighting that lights up the entire grounds where the show will be at night. So there's absolutely no in or out. Nobody can get to anything, so your stuff's perfectly safe if you want to leave it. But again, if you do leave with it, you cannot take it back until the next day.
Understood. Relaxin in the Park, St. Louis on Instagram and Facebook. You can check the hashtags as well. Those are going to be floating around. We're certainly excited about it. Now, listen, I had mentioned to the Airhead Nation, all the listeners earlier, I really wanted to make it up this year. It just didn't work out. I'll be back next year. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of good people up there in that area, and we wish you guys all the success. And remember, download Twitch, search DJ Mays. You're getting ready to go live in a few minutes. Yeah, we're recording this on Tuesday, so I'm getting ready to jump on Twitch here in just a little bit. We'll do our mini Truckin Tuesdays, which we play different videos from either stuff we rip off YouTube or different shows or whatever, which tonight, accordingly enough, is going to be Relaxing in a Park night. So we'll be playing other videos from 2019 and hanging out. And then tomorrow night, we're going to do an extra
one for way back Wednesday, which we don't normally do, and then we'll be on to the weekend kind of thing. So some of you guys probably won't catch this till Friday, but that's all right. Just keep it in mind for next week. We do it every week, usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And, it's all about mini trucks and having a good time and meeting some new people and, old school jams.
Yeah, brother. Well, listen, we wish you all the success this weekend. Keep in touch. And we can't wait to link up with you, DJ Mays, our brother. All the best of luck, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate all your guys' support, and I hope we see everybody this weekend.
Yes, sir. Be good, man. Peace, Jay.
Thanks,
dude. Late. So, Mike, there you have it. I know it was a little bit choppy there. Hopefully everyone was able to rock with us. Relaxin at the Park St. Louis. It's a fantastic event, Midwest. Jay and the entire team, they do a fantastic job of networking with all the shows and keeping things live. The Friday night cruise, Mike, I wish that there was one closer to us like what they do because, man, it is really neat what they pull off.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And hey, if we know DJ Mays is involved, the Relaxed Atmosphere guys and girls are involved, it's going to be off the chain. So make sure you guys, if you guys are in or around that area, go out and support and help them. The weather's going to be beautiful, and we don't have to worry about all the storms and all that crap like he's had to run into in the past. So let's go out and let's support and make this the best one yet.
Real Deal and the key show updates were brought to you by our family at the West Coast Influence. You can visit minitruckfilm.com to order the Blu-ray or DVD, minitruckfilm.com for the West Coast Influence. Now, Mike, the podcast updates, a couple quick ones. Back to the Future, our Out of Air / OLP Pleasure Paradise. The merchandise, we were right on time, pun intended. We ended the pre-sale Sunday. We submitted the order on Monday. Everything is paid. We are guaranteed, knock on wood, as long as the world continues to spin, to have those items ahead of Scraping the Coast. And if all goes well, they'll be in early enough, hopefully, to mail that stuff out. And then if you use the STC 2021 code, obviously kind of the at-show pickup, as we call it, that's going down. And Mike, dude, we had a tremendous, as we said kind of last week, we just hinted, because it really hadn't dropped yet, but the amount of support for this one, dude, off the charts for us, man. So thanks to everyone.
Dude, we can't thank these people enough for all the support each and every time that we put a design out, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single time. And this one absolutely blew the rest of them. So yes, thank you very much.
Real deal. Now, if you're on an iPhone or Android device, we would remind you. Now, if you're on an iPhone or like an iPad, you can go to the pre-installed podcast app. You can go to Library, tap on OLP, scroll all the way down, and you can tap, hopefully, 5-star review, and then you can even type a review if you would like. The latest one that we have is from Acro Adam, our brother, big supporter, great dude, good family guy. He says OLP, hands down, the best podcast out there. From the show info to the interviews, you guys kill it. Keep up the hard work. Hashtag minis on the rise. IG, Acro _ Adam, good dude. That brings us to 236 5-star reviews, Mike. Cannot thank the listeners and just the folks in the scene that we all love enough. So the podcast updates brought to you by, we mentioned earlier, Joey at Get Decked. You can search Get Decked on Facebook. If you want to put a vehicle you own or a photo, anything you've got, you just got to reach out to Joey at Get Decked. He can take that image and he could put that on a skate deck. Oftentimes, Mike, we hear people say, hey, I want to have my truck on a shirt. Not as easy, right? But you want to have your truck or car on a skate deck? Mike, very easy. Joey at Get Decked.
Oh, Joey will make it happen. So just hit him up and watch your drawing come to a reality.
Yeah, and Joey also has that event going down in VA. We want to talk to Joey a little bit more about that one. If you go to Facebook and type in Joey Get Decked, those 3 words, you're going to see that Get Decked pops up. He's got about 2,500 followers there. He'll also share a little bit of news about the show. But one of his last posts was back in March. It was Our Lifestyle Podcast when he did the OLP Total Chaos, one of my favorite skate decks, Mike. So big ups to him. He's been partnering with a lot of shows, and I'm excited for his show as well.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And one of the last updates that I want to give before we get off here is one of our good friends and supporters, Mark Bishop with Hardcore Minis. His grandson had a tumor removed. He had surgery this morning, and definitely, thoughts and prayers were, with this little boy. And so the update is out, and the doctors were able to get 80 to 90% of that tumor, and they're very happy with the way that the surgery went. He woke up and he knew his name, and he remembered his stuffed animal. And so, he's holding it. So this little boy, 3 years old, is he's a strong little guy, and he's going to pull through this. Is what it says here. And so just continue with all the thoughts and the prayers, and send nothing but good vibes to this little boy's way.
Real deal, and thanks, Mike, for that update. I also wanted to give an update. Denny W.C. Mitchell reached out, and he said that he wanted to remind everyone that Big Mike had passed away. This was back in December, and he had been tied with the scene a long time. He worked at Gage and the Gage store. He was involved with Indie Truck Bash and Slamology, being with Gage as well as their host. Big Mike also worked for Rytech Suspension for a period of time and eventually was helping others in the scene from his own garage, which was affectionately dubbed Bub's Garage. Mike was such a friendly and funny guy. He passed in December of 2020, and I don't think we did, I'm speaking for myself, I don't think we did a good enough job of highlighting this due to cancer. So that, again, this is why we're doing it now. There will be a benefit show this coming weekend at Johnson County Fairgrounds in Franklin, Indiana, which is just south of Indianapolis. Proceeds from the show entries and benefit auction will be donated to charities in Mike's name. Mike is definitely missed and will always be remembered for the rest, for being a great guy, especially by the scene in Indy and beyond. He thanks everyone for their generosity. It's technically May 22nd, Franklin, Indiana, and we would love if you guys are going to continue this in the future. You can share more information, and we'll make sure. He says to the Airhead Nation, everybody stay on the rise, and let's keep the legacy going. So those Airhead Nation updates are brought to you by Hammered Weekend Wear. You can visit HAMMERD weekendwear.com and order today. And remember, there's a lot of good folks out there, Mike, and we want to keep their memory alive. I think that's it, except for I would tell everyone in closing before we roll into Jen Black's audio, All Time Low. They're doing fantastic things. If you want to subscribe, it's a bi-monthly magazine. You can go to atlmagazine.com. They're our family. They're great people. They're going to a lot of shows. Rich and Beth and the entire cast and characters, including Damien. I know there's a lot of folks that do a lot of things, but Mike, it's atlmagazine.com. Big ups to Rich and Beth. I think that's all I got, Mike.
Hey, brother, that's all I got for this week as well. And, hey, with that being said, Airhead Nation,
we at you. Enjoy this audio from Jen Black. Peace.
Baby, don't cry. I hope you got your head up. Even when the road is hard, never give up. Baby, don't cry. I hope you got your head up. Even when the road is hard, never give up. Now here's a story about a woman.
Hey, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we got Jen Black, our guest for this episode 237, and want to remind everyone, brought to you by Scraping the Coast. You can visit scrapingthecoast.com to pre-register today for the show that's at the end of June in Biloxi, Mississippi. But Jen, thank you so much for coming on OLP and taking the time.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and we've had you on the list a while, and why don't you tell everyone, Jen, where you're at right now?
So I'm up in the Great White North. Well, it's actually pretty green right now because we're in summer, but up into Canada here. Just a little bit outside of Calgary in Alberta. So
Awesome stuff.
that's a province, not a state.
and Canada's the country, right? For those scoring at home here in America.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep.
So, Mike and I talk about we're trying to have, the more females. There's a lot of females out there doing the dang thing. Whether you're an enthusiast or you're going to shows, you're repping the club and things like that. So, as I mentioned, thanks for coming on. And why don't we just start with this? Like, why don't you give like a little bit of background? There's some folks out there that are listening. They know you. They know the name from Instagram. And there's some that may not. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
So I'm Jen Black, I guess.
JB, I love those initials.
I don't know. Just trying to, essentially, I'm trying to bring West Coast style paint to Canada.
Nice.
I feel like that is like the biggest inspiration for my like painting or anything is bringing that style of paint to Canada because it's lacking so much. It's, two tones and you have your single colors with the pearls, but let's bring some graphics to Canada and let's represent mini trucking and just enjoy what it's all about.
Hey, I like that plan. It's crazy if you think back. We've had folks like the team, the OG team, including Lambie from Cal Concepts on, right? And there's probably some other names out there. I know there was, I think it was Cal Smith in the South. Some of those guys helped formulate, right, that West Coast kind of paint style that many of us love, right? And who would have ever thought, that stuff, 30, 35 years ago, kind of when it was formed, it's still something today that when we see it, right, Jen, it's like we kind of get goosebumps. We're like, damn, that's dope.
Yeah, it makes everything inside of me tingle when I see that. It's definitely,
yep.
It pushes you to be better and to, there's no right and wrongs when it comes to that. It's all pure creative mindset.
Absolutely, and I kind of feel the same way when I think of like G-Funk music. Anyone that knows me knows I love like that West Coast sound that, Dr. Dre and Above the Law and Eazy-E and some of these guys like help kind of formulate and, Ice-T and many of them. And, when I hear that music, it just takes me back to an era. And I definitely want to talk more about, the stuff that you do because I think it's freaking awesome. Now, did you grow up in that general area, Jen?
No.
Okay.
No, it's kind of, I kind of like I had steam tracked into becoming an adult. And, I feel like in my 30s, I've really just been able to embrace who I am as a person and what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Cool.
It's been a really nice wake-up call and just, the sky's the limit.
I love it.
If you have a mindset of, hey, I want to do that, I will be the first person to be like, yeah, you need to do that and you need to give it 110 and, you might fall short sometimes, but every day you're going to learn and you're just going to be that much better at what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're that passionate about something, oftentimes people just need that little push to go, you know what? You should do that.
Yeah, 100%. There's days where I'm just like, oh man, this is just not working out. Maybe I shouldn't try and, maybe this isn't my calling. But then I have such a great support system that they're like, yes, you need to get out of your head. You need to push and keep going. So that's kind of where I'm at, where it's every single day I am absolutely learning constantly.
Nice. Yeah, and, oftentimes you've always heard, like, just do it. And I tell my friends and family, it's like, yeah, you can, definitely, but, always have a plan. If you're doing what you're doing and you're learning and you're getting better at something and you're like, because a lot of times you'll have a friend that'll come to you that's like, hey, I think I'm finally ready to do this. I've done all this and I'm ready to open my own shop or I'm ready to do this. And, you kind of talk with them and you're like, yeah, you're there. You're like, do it, So, I always encourage people to have a plan. And, like, so where did you grow up? Did you grow up, within the same province?
Yeah, so I live in Calgary right now, and I actually grew up 3 hours north in Sherwood Park.
Okay.
So I lived my life there, and then, life changes, and I needed a change of scenery, and I moved down here, and everything's just kind of played out the way that my life should be, I guess it would be. The way that I feel that, this is the best way that I'm going to feel like I've conquered.
Okay. Yeah. No, I feel you. So I know, like, I typically will have a lot of, when I think of Canada, like, what did you do growing up? Like, what were you into? Were you into painting, or tell us a little bit about that? Because, like, I'm thinking it's like snow sleds and all that, and you're like, come on, man, that's not what we do up here.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty cold up here, but only in the winter. I mean, we get like 9 months of winter.
Yeah, so you guys are like constantly, practicing from the what is it, bobsleds, and doing the Iditarods. I mean, all that stuff, right? That's all you do, right?
Yeah, it's just I get on my dog sled and I go down to the grocery store and pick up my groceries, and then I come back and I park them, and
right,
it's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
so, what were some of the things that you were into?
I've been into vehicles. I do a lot of snowboarding. Well, okay, I used to. I don't anymore because the bones being in the 30s, they say that's not possible anymore. So, yeah, we do try and do lots of walks around here. And
cool. Now,
yeah. So
now, it was funny because before we started, I had mentioned that, one of my favorite movies, Rad, was filmed back in, 85, I'd say, probably around that time. It came out in 86. But that was in Calgary, and there was like a big, from what I've been told, a lot of BMX guys, and ladies around that area. Do you ever still see people doing the BMX stuff, or is it something you don't really see where you guys live?
definitely. I mean, we have a skate park that's probably like a 2-minute skate from our house, and the generation is, I mean, it's more scooters, skateboards, but, you know, I look back and I see like all of my friends now, and everyone's getting back into BMXing.
Oh, yeah.
So we got bikes last summer because of COVID, and then a good friend of mine, Sean Savage, he is like a BMX connoisseur. So he likes to, he's really into all of that. So he keeps us updated with that. And I mean, Rad was filmed 25 minutes from us down in Bowness. So that's pretty neat.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. And, you know, there's not a lot of good that came out of this whole COVID pandemic stuff, but what we noticed here last year is you'd go to a bike shop and the bikes were sold out, or you'd go to the local, you know, four-wheeler, quad, you know, wave runner shop, and the wave runners were gone. And it did get people to, like, and again, I know it depends where you live, but like at least here, people were like, all right, well, we're going to go ride bikes, or we're going to go on the water and ride wave runners and things. So that's one thing that I have noticed that might be a positive. I mean, we saw like last year around, I guess this time, I mean, there were more families out walking. You know, it's hot in Florida. I'm not trying to rub it in, but it's warm down here, right? And there were just people galore, like full families out walking. And I'm like, dude, I don't think we're ever going to see this again. And it's tapered off some, but that's one good thing I've seen from this craziness.
Yeah, it definitely was a hard time trying to find a bike for all of us last year. I mean, you'd go to the bike stores on a weekend and there'd be a 2-hour wait just to get in and see if they had any.
Wow. That's nuts.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Now, quick break for podcast identification. OLP is brought to you by our Custom Car Show production family, which includes Scraping the Coast. And if you haven't heard, Scraping the Coast is June 25th 26th, 27th in Biloxi at the Coliseum. Come on out. Rock with us this year. The show's going to be off the hook. There's cash prizes. There's awesome giveaways. And you can join the discussion, Scraping the Coast on Facebook, Scraping the Coast Show on Instagram, and scrapingthecoast.com. Oh, by the way, did you see the new show shirt with 2 mini trucks on it, a classic cover truck, and Chad Luke, my brother, our brother's amazing crew cab mini? It's sure to be straight fire, and it's sure to go quick on Friday. So get over to the booth, buy some gear, Scraping the Coast. You know how we do. Back to the interview already in progress. You're listening to our lifestyle podcast. You know, talking about kind of where you grew up and obviously that kind of stuff. Did you have this love for cars early on? Like, where did you get bit by the bug to go, hey, I want to do these low cars and roll around and do the damn thing?
I want to say I was 16. I mean, my first car was a Chevy Cavalier.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, like many of us. Yep.
Yeah, like I was just like, change the interior out a little bit and, have a loud exhaust on it. And then as you get older, it gets a little different because then you're like, okay, well, now I want wheels. I want, let's see how big of a wheel we can fit on this car and all that stuff. So it just kind of, I always say I'm the black sheep of my family because none of my family are into vehicles.
Okay.
They come to me when they're looking at things. I guess it was just something that caught my eye, and that's just something that I was more geared towards.
Cool.
Stuff like that. I mean, it's an addiction.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like I told my wife, there could be worse things to be addicted to. You know what I mean? So I definitely 100%. Get that. Yep.
I always say it's an addiction, but it's a healthy one because it's not hurting you. It's just hurting your wallet.
Yes.
That's all.
Exactly, right? And, that's the cool thing that it is funny if you were to make a book and it kind of showed the progression of when you're 15 and 16, the stuff you want, and then maybe 21, and then, you get into your late 20s, 30s, 40s, and then it's crazy how things kind of manifest a little bit. And the awesome thing in the world is if you want air suspension, boom, you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on the net, boom, you order the parts, they show up in a couple days, depending on where you live, and you're doing the damn thing. And I think that's one of the cool things I've seen over the years is that it's become easier for people to network and learn. And then you have shops that manufacture these parts. And, depending on if you're into cars or trucks, like you can bag stuff now super quick. And, I say that I'm into Lincolns and I've had a kit for like a year and my car's still not bagged. But, in all seriousness, it is cool to see the progression. And, I'm always intrigued by how people get tied into the scene. I would have thought, like maybe you had a brother or a sister that liked it, but obviously it was totally something different.
Yeah, no, I'm the oldest of myself and my sister, and I guess it just like caught my eye and it stuck with me, which I have no problems at all. I quite enjoy custom vehicles for that fact, whereas you have a couple of them and then, you always seem like, well, I wouldn't mind another. And then it just becomes a thing where you're constantly looking at vehicles, constantly wanting to change something on your vehicle. You got to always stay up to date with what's going on.
Yes, I don't disagree. And speaking of that, so what would you say your current ride is?
My current one is I have an 09 Acura TL. That's my baby. It's my reliable one. I have a couple of them. So the TL definitely is, I call it my summer daily because it's, I absolutely enjoy driving it. It's got all the comforts that you don't have in a mini truck. That's for sure, like AC.
Yeah, and what are some of the other things that are done to it? Because I know it's got nice wheels, and it definitely looks like a killer suspension.
Yeah, so it's my wheels. I have they're 20 by 11, which is a little ridiculous, but that's how she goes sometimes. I mean, the interior is all custom. It's got the red and black leather seats, all the inserts in the trim. They're all custom made carbon fiber.
Mm-hmm.
What else? It's on air rec suspension. It's got Adams rotors out of California. It's full Focal audio system. Crazy little thing about it is it's all the airlines are braided.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. And then the whole trunk is hardline.
Nice. Is nothing like a nice hardline suspension, or airline kit in the trunk, and then, like you said, the steel braided lines underneath?
Yeah. And then it's got an exhaust. It's got all the engine covers are done. It's got the intake, throttle body spacer. I mean, I'd love to put a supercharger on it, but one day. One day I'll do that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's next for it? So now you hinted that you have something else, too. What is that?
So I also have a 92 bodied Mazda B2200.
What?
I also just... Yeah.
That's good stuff.
I also have a 93 Isuzu Amigo.
Nice. Okay, man. So all the minis are kind of coming out here. I like this.
Yeah. So the Mazda is on the back burner. We started rebuilding it, and then Jesse's truck needed to be rebuilt, and that one's farther along than what my Mazda is. So I opted out to put that one on hold, rebuild. Jesse could rebuild his Mazda, and then I picked up my 93 Amigo, which I am super stoked on.
Damn, an Amigo.
Yeah, there's only 3 in Canada, and I have one of them.
Nice.
Which was a great snag. So that one is going to be that's my, pull out on a sunny day, keep hidden away kind of
project, right?
Project. Yeah, that one is that'll be my baby.
Well, it's ironic because we had Redbeard on last week, and he talked a little bit about living, in another country, Japan, and he has one of 2 of the Marvies, they're called, the Mazda Marvi.
Oh.
So I think I'm saying it right. Because I texted him, I said, Marvi's on the rise, right? He started laughing. Well, then, so he has 2, one of 2 apparently in the United States, right? So you're saying you have one of 3 Amigos in Canada. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can't get them here. Trying to find parts for that thing has been an interesting adventure, but it's at the end of the day, everything is just going to have to be fabricated and custom on it, because trying to find those parts brand new or accessible enough is going to be an undertaking in itself. So, I mean, it's obviously going to be bagged. The idea of it being doored has been thrown out there also.
Damn, okay.
So, yeah, I know a lot of people that do have Amigos. They've been putting the bigger wheels on them. I'm more or less, let's keep it smaller. I want to keep the back seat because I have kids, so I'd like them to cruise around in it. So I picked up 3 years ago a really nice set of Boyd Coddington Timeless 6s.
Mm-hmm.
They were, Buddy had them in his garage. They were literally a barn find. And nice. I picked them up super cheap, cleaned them up, and they look brand new. So I'm super proud of those.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Jesse earlier. Why don't you give a shout out to your man?
Yeah, Jesse, you want to say hi?
What's up?
Jesse. And Jesse, how do you say your last
How's it
name?
going? Chomic.
Chomic. It's going good, brother. You guys doing well up there in Canada?
Yeah, we're trying to with all the lockdowns. It's going great.
Yeah, well, you guys are. I know it's been a little crazy the world. You guys are a great kind of tag team duo, as you had mentioned to me, Jen. And Jen, how do you find, like, with, you got this Mazda, right, extra cab, and then Jesse has his Mazda, as you had alluded. So, do you see his Mazda getting all this work? I know he's real handy out there doing some cool stuff, and then you're like, damn, I want my Mazda. It seems like you're pretty well reserved, like, I'll get my time with mine.
Well, at first it was kind of like there's no sense in building two at the same time because you're just going to be battling.
Yes.
Constantly. So, I mean, Jesse's truck, we love his truck. So, I have my car that we cruise while that one's being rebuilt, and I'm totally fine with that. I mean, at the end of the day, I get to fully paint his truck. So, I'm pushing for him to get it done, and then I'll either start back on the Mazda or most likely tie right into the Amigo, which I'm a little bit more excited about. The Mazda is what it is.
Yeah, the Mazda, those trucks, arguably the most popular mini truck ever. I think we could, people would debate that, but when you look back at mini truck magazines, I've went through every issue, and there's just so many, right? From the 2000 to the 2200s to the 2600i's. People, including me, we just love that body style, and I think it's pretty cool. Now, I spent a lot of time in Amigo because my homie John had gotten one for his first car. Now, ironically, it was purple. And I remember the back seat, the front seats, the interior, I remember everything about it. And ironically, after he had moved on to his second vehicle, I needed a daily driver, so I had bought it from his parents or from him or whatever. And the one I had leaked some damn oil like no tomorrow, but it was fun to drive. And have you got a chance to drive yours around? Because I think yours is white, right?
Yeah, I have a white one. I haven't driven it around because it needs an out-of-province inspection. So hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully we'll get that done. A good friend of ours that's also in the club, Sam at Epic Rod and Customs, he now can do out-of-province inspections. So as soon as the time comes, I'll send the Amigo off to him, and I know it'll be in great hands and get it ready to hit the road.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Man, you just got to move to Florida. We got no inspections. I mean, we got nothing. We've got no emission deals. We've got nothing. We're just like wide open down here. That's, I mean, it's funny when I have COVID. Yeah, and then. And then, when I hear about people doing inspections and stuff, I'm like, come here, man. Just cut your exhaust off. You don't need a cat. I mean, you don't need doors on your car. We're just total rednecks down here.
Yeah, that doesn't fly here.
I know. So, Jesse, would that be a good thing or a bad thing, you think, for being down here with just like the Florida man shit going on?
Oh, man, I would move to Florida in a heartbeat. I love it down there. I've been down there. I've been to Florida twice, and yeah, I'd go back.
Yeah. I was hoping you said that. I was hoping you weren't going to say, yeah, you bunch of buffoons. I'm not moving down there. But, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You have hurricanes. I don't know. That kind of deter me a little bit. We don't really have, like, natural disasters here, except for snow.
Snow's a natural disaster in my book. I mean, I'm just saying. But, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But like, us as Canadians, we're equipped to handle snow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got to give a huge shout out to Jesse. The stuff that you do with your truck and kind of the transformation. It's been pretty awesome. I enjoy seeing that. And Jesse, why don't you give out your Instagram and then we'll get Jen's.
So my Instagram is SVRD_JCHOM.
Yeah,
anybody wants to
Severed
check out
J.
the
Cole.
progress on it?
Yep. Yeah, you can check out the progress. Love the tilt bed. I mean, that's another good thing that's come out of this whole crazy pandemic is you've been hustling on yours. Now, Jen, for people that are listening, they might want to say, hey, I want to see some of the cool stuff you're doing. Can they follow you on Instagram?
Definitely. So my Instagram is _Jen Black _. Anything I paint, if it be panels, I'm actually working on a motorcycle right now, full custom paint, and then all the shoes that I've done, they're all on there. I post everything.
Well, and that's kind of why one of the things I wanted to segue into. When I look at your Instagram and I see some of the stuff you've done, I know you did some stuff for my homie Josh Ellis. Talk to us a little bit about, and you hinted earlier you're going to be painting your man's truck. I think you said the graphics and whatnot. Talk to us about what you do with painting. Is it just on, clothing canvases? It sounds like it's also on vehicles as well.
Yeah. So I started off. So a little backstory there is that in 2019, I actually went to school for auto body, graduated my first year, and then went and worked at a custom bike shop. And then I moved here. So it's been a little bit slow trying to find a shop that is looking for like newcomers. So here it's a little different than in the States. You need to go to school and you have to have certain hours and all that to be able to in a shop.
Wow.
You have to be enrolled in an apprenticeship, and so it makes it a little bit harder to get into a shop and stay in a shop. But I was really fortunate enough to, at the custom shop that I worked at, be able to learn the concepts of laying down candy and how to mix and match paint for a paint shop. So that very much I soaked in as much as I possibly could daily working there. And then I just started applying that to, first it was Dan's shoes. I mean, got biggest to work on, so to say, and it's wearable art, which I absolutely love. And when I create a pair of shoes for someone, no one will ever have the same shoes.
Yep.
So I always tell everyone, if it's, scales and lines and that kind of lowrider, or not really lowrider, well, some are lowrider inspired, the 70s paint aspects with all the scales and all that. And then I've also been doing truck inspired shoes. Mm-hmm. So just like the shoes that I did for Josh. Who else did I do? Carrie, Nick. There's been a couple of shoes that I've done that are truck inspired, and that's just, to me, I like doing those because it's so creative, and they'll only have those shoes. I don't ever do another person's truck. So I've had people come to me and said, hey, can you do this person's truck? Or like, I've got a picture of someone's truck, and I'm like, I'm sorry, unless you're the owner, I won't do it.
Yeah, you just kind of keep it, boom, that's your rule. But yeah, to me, the stuff that you've done is really cool. And like when you were kind of talking about, you have to have this apprenticeship and things like that, they kind of have that here, but they have it more with like contractor stuff, working on homes, or you want to be a journeyman electrician or plumber, things like that. It is interesting, especially when we've talked to our guests from Australia, to hear about when they customize vehicles there, they have to have kind of like an engineer plan to show, hey, this is built to certain specs and it's legit, right? So kind of what you were explaining to me is, it's a little bit tougher to get into a shop, but once you do, what's the environment like when you work there? Is it, normal work environment?
Yeah, it all depends if you're on the custom side or if you're on the collision side. So they're completely opposite, especially here. There's not a whole lot of custom shops. I mean, in the States, the opportunities for crazy paint and all of that are so much higher than they are here. It hasn't really hit here very hard as it has down south for you guys.
Yeah, understood. But it doesn't seem like it's deterred you, though, from your kind of dream or, your vision of doing more of this stuff?
No, I think it definitely doesn't deter me. It just makes me want to have it that more.
Mm-hmm.
It just pushes me way harder to bring that here, and showcase what I can do, if given the chance to. I find it a little bit harder, finding a place, just because, I don't ever want to say this, but the reality is that it is a little bit harder to find a shop when you are a woman, just because, the politics of everything, but that's how it goes. It's here, it's in the States, it's all over the world. And, you just need one person to say, hey, you're a hard worker. That's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're very talented. If the listeners go out there, as we had mentioned, and you follow __ Jen Black _, you'll see some of the awesome photos. And one that you had posted back in kind of mid to later April, that was a cool pair of shoes, and it said Pint Size Customs, and those were a custom set of Vans that you did.
Yeah, so I go by Pint Size Customs. I'm 5'1". I'm pretty tiny, so I thought it was a pretty good play on words for that. I just haven't really branched out too far into saying, yeah, let's go full force with a custom shop. So it's kind of just nice to have that little bit of it's inspiration. I think it's the future. You're always working towards the future.
Yes, I see that. And how good does it feel like when someone like Craig Fraser Studios, right? We've had Craig on the podcast, OG, obviously a big name in the scene. Like when he chimes in on that post and says, very cool, it's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, so I totally fanned out on that, fangirled on that. I'm not going to lie. Craig Fraser is a huge, huge influence. He's just remarkable in everything and paved the way for, Craig and Dion with Cal Concepts and Air Syndicate. They paved that whole mini trucking graphics for everyone. And that just, I always say, when I grow up, I want to be like Craig Fraser.
Yeah, he's talented. The stuff that he's done, the partnerships with Disney, and it's just amazing. It just goes to show you how far, the sky's really the limit. Now, I do want to talk about, too, when I look at your Instagram, I see these different panels, and I see the skate decks. A lot of those, when I'm seeing, that's your work. This kind of lowrider style, you mentioned earlier, lowrider style graphics. That's pretty freaking awesome stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of started off with that, and I'm very much like a crisp line type of person. I like sharp lines, so that played really well into my aesthetic, and I feel like I just keep pushing forward with that, but I also want to push forward with different ventures, so I can be like an all-around artist when it comes to painting.
Yep, I definitely understand.
Yeah, I also have, I was selected to do the Finish Masters Hood Challenge. So I have that coming up in June, I believe, shipping out. So that'll be fun. It's a 29-inch hood, and then it'll be judged by some of the top industry painters and whatnot, and then I believe it'll go to, you could be for different categories. So that's really neat. I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
To participate in, try to, reach out of your comfort zone and get out there a little bit.
Yeah, that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's totally, I feel like, you can get stuck in your comfort zone, and then it's just kind of the same old, and then you start to get bored with it. And then, if you're pushing yourself completely out of the loop of what you're normally used to, then it sparks that passion again. And you're 120% 20% invested back into learning and all of that. I mean, some days I'm like, oh, I have no enthusiasm to do anything. And then some days I'm like, man, there's a fire up my ass and I'm ready to go. Like, you know, so.
Oh yeah. And I think we all need that. I think we all need that motivation. And I think it, you know, no matter who you are, whether you're a celebrity or you're someone that's, you know, motivating other people, you know, I always wonder, do the motivators need motivators? It's kind of like, yeah, you know, it's like if you watch The Sopranos, the shrink, she had her shrink, you know, she had her own problems, you know. So I always thought that was interesting. Now, I wanted to ask you, are there women, are there any people, you know, like specific women that you look up to, maybe not even in the truck or car scene, in the painting scene? Like, is there someone that's inspired you? I guess whether it's a woman or a man, but at the same time, I would think that maybe there's a woman out there that you're like, man, this person, you know, she's doing it, so I know I can.
I feel like there's so many women out there that are like badass painters that you're just like, man, I want, like, that's crazy, you know? And I mean, I wouldn't say like anyone in particular. I just want to say like all of them.
Nice.
I'm so for women just stepping up into male dominated roles and absolutely killing it. Like, that is amazing.
Yep, there you go. Well, I wanted to kind of switch the topics, and I know, like, you know, you have some cool tattoos, right? So is that another passion that you have? Do you just like the tattoo stuff, or, you know, how did that come about?
I think it's walking art. Like,
Yes.
I feel like I said that before, but it's just like, it's totally expression of yourself. I mean, I've got half a leg of, we call them the gang My Little Ponies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got My Little Ponies tattooed on me that are like, look like little gang members, I guess you would say. They're fully tatted up themselves. And, you know, I've got a 6-year-old daughter that she's like, Mom, I want those when I'm older. And I'm just like, I'm so down for that.
That's cool stuff. So you have someone that you go to that you trust. You know, I know a lot of tattoo artists and things like that. You know, is there just one particular person you like to go to?
Not particularly. It depends on what I'm looking at for what I want done. We have a good friend here that's actually in Sylvan Lake, and, well, Red Deer, Sylvan Lake area. And his name is James, and he does phenomenal work. I mean, I was supposed to get my car tattooed on me a couple of weeks ago, but then restrictions happened, so they got shut down, which really sucked. But I mean, he did Jesse's forearm and tattooed a little silhouette of his truck in a pair of sunglasses on a girl, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, and it's crazy because, like you said, with the restrictions, I mean, things can easily just get, boom, shut down.
Yeah, it's, you know, you want to plan for things, but at the same time, it's like, well, I can't really plan that far in advance because it seems like week by week, things change so drastically.
Yep.
That it makes it a little hard, that's for sure. I know we're going on the second year of no car shows up here.
Yeah,
which
it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Starting to take a toll on everyone, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it is crazy how things have gone. Now, I wanted to also allow you to talk a little bit about, tell us about the new gang, I mean, car and truck club that you're affiliated with.
So in March, I actually got voted in as Canada's first woman petitioner for severed ties.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. I was pretty excited. Actually, that'd be an understatement. Super excited that, Jesse informed me it's first Alberta woman petitioner.
Nice. Yeah, congratulations.
So, yeah, that's pretty pretty awesome. I'm excited for that. I know I've got a long ways to go, but I mean, I will clean wheels and deliver ice creams for as long as I need to.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I was giving some of the petitioners a hard time at one of the shows recently, and I was like, "Oh, you need to go get us some beer or whatever." He's like, "No problem." I was like, "All right." And then somebody's like, "It's not that kind of club." I go, "It is today." Just messing with them. But no, that's good because I mean, we do have a lot of awesome ladies. I know they're often referred to as like the sisterhood within Severed, and I think that's fantastic. There's a lot of ladies that have been holding it down a long time. Like Summer's one of them that comes to mind, and we want to do our job to highlight, those ladies throughout the scene, including in our club, Severed. But I just think that's fantastic that, you have this great relationship with Jesse, and you guys are in the trucks, and you've got a couple, and he's got his, and you're doing the damn thing, and I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been really nice, to say the least. It's really enjoyable when your partner is on the same page as you. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's hard because it's both like you want someone to say, hey, no, we can't have another vehicle. But then the other person's like, yeah, let's get another one.
Yeah.
Or, hey, let's not rip apart a vehicle and let's finish one. And then the other person's like, yeah, let's do that. Like,
Yep.
it's sometimes it's like, hey, just tell me no, we're not doing this. Instead of saying, yeah, let's totally go wild with it. I mean, this summer I've decided I'm going to rip apart my trunk setup in my car and redo it. Do I need to do that? No, but it's like, why not? Let's do it.
You're itching, and you're kind of hoping he's like, yeah, just leave it. And you're like, no, let's do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. It's, I mean, I want to bring to everything.
Oh, yeah. Now, I think you mentioned Doc earlier from Epic Customs. I've bought some of his stuff from before. He's tied in. He's one of my Lincoln brothers, too. He loves his Lincolns. There's a lot of good members up there. I know there's some old school members. Jan comes to mind. And a lot of you guys up there, and you're doing the damn thing. And, it seems like you're on the other side of the world from here, at least from Florida. But, I love seeing you guys' posts and the passion that you have and the hustle that you guys put into, to help Severed, which was started in 9 Deuce. And, we're getting ready to go on our 30th. But to me, it's amazing to see people around the world. We've got chapters in, I think it's 5 countries. And, I mean, who would have ever thunk it, man? I just think it's great.
Yeah, the guys up here are such a great group of guys. Like, I mean, Dario is just killing it with anything vehicle related that needs a big motor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sam at Epic I don't think there's ever an empty space in that shop. He just cranks out some absolutely beautiful vehicles. Mm-hmm. And everyone else, they're all like brothers. So all of us, we like to give each other a hard time, but they're a really solid crew, and that's what you want to look for when you're petitioning for a club. So I'm really happy that I get to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, we've talked about all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, I was thrilled to hear about the minis. I knew that you had the other badass car that you drive, the 09. And the painting stuff I think is fantastic. Now, can people hit you up if they want a commission piece? Do they just, reach out to you?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very fortunate that so many people are so supportive. And, I'm constantly sending stuff out that way, if it's shoes or panels that I've done. And it's a blessing, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff, and like I said, it's just great to see you guys doing the damn thing up there. Hopefully we'll all get a chance to get together for the Severed 30th, which should be next year, and we're all super excited about that. Now, before we kind of wrap it up, I wanted to see if there was anything else you wanted to share, Jen, or maybe something that I maybe forgot to hit upon.
Not much. I'm just I'm really looking forward to getting Jesse's truck on the road here. He's been absolutely killing it with all the fab work and getting the new motor in there. I mean, turboed LS, pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
And I'm super excited to debut what I can do with paint on it. I mean, he's pretty much told me just do what you want to do in these colors and have fun. So that's pretty sweet. I'm excited to get going on that.
Yeah, that's the best when you're an artist and you kind of get a little bit of free reign to do what you can do creatively. So I think that's pretty awesome. But Jesse, did you have anything else you wanted to kind of share, man? I mean, I think you guys are a great couple and you're doing the damn thing, and I always love seeing what you guys do.
Yeah, I'm just pretty stoked that Jen's killing it on the paint and everything. She's painting my dad's bike, and it's turning out amazing. And I can't wait to see what she does on my truck, because that thing's going to be pretty wild, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And it just, keep doing what you guys do. And, obviously check them out, all the listeners on Instagram. It's pretty cool that, they're our northern family up there, but they're doing the damn thing, and it's always awesome. But with that being said, I think that's like all that I had. I just wanted to, double check with you guys. Anything else you want to cover or anything?
Yeah, no.
Thanks. I think that's it.
That's sweet.
I mean, other than shout out to Dario at the House of Boost on Instagram, Sam at Epic Rod Customs on Instagram. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys, and Jen, thanks for being an awesome, female in this scene that we all love. We want to continue to highlight the awesome women and ladies out there. If people have suggestions, they can email us ourlifestylepodcast@gmail.com. We do have a few other ladies on the list still, but you've been on here for some time, and thanks for sharing your story with all the listeners.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited for the future.
Absolutely. And everyone, you guys have a safe weekend. ODB, Biatch.
13 and Ebony Queen. Beneath the surface, it was more than just a quick smile. Nobody knew about a secret, so it took a while. I could see a tear fall slow down a black tee, shedding quiet tears in the backseat. So when she asked me, what would you do if it was you? Couldn't answer, such a horrible pain to live through. I tried to trade places in the tragedy.
Yeah, you too.